We just had the biggest win for the J.J.L.E program, and I want to tell you guys all about it. Now, I don't want to bore you guys with crazy details, but pretty much what happened is one of our officers that are actually active in our program was in a situation where there was a van parked inside of a neighborhood, just recording. It was a very unusual thing to happen. And so someone called the police, and then they had two cruisers pull up, one in the front and one in the back to box him in. Long story short, the guy was not complying. He jet out the back door of the van, and that's when the whole thing started. Get started, I'm gonna get Jess, one of our other officers in the program. He's gonna lay down, belly facing that way. Now, pretty much what happened was the suspect ran out the back door. He opened the double doors, started to book it as one of our officers ran, tackled him down. Now, he didn't do anything specific with the tackle. It was just like a typical, just double leg or a rugby tackle. But they ended up belly down. He had his waist. He was pinning it with his shoulder. Now, what started to happen was he was utilizing his body weight to pin his upper back, right? And as he was doing that, the partner would start to push up against the floor, and that's when it began. So out of our 7-level curriculum, this was probably within level 3 or 4, where we call the hammerlock sequence. So as he started to sit up, he changed direction, weaved through as he plucked the arm. Now what that does, it breaks his base, and that's what it wants. That's what I want to do. I want to prevent him from getting up. Now watch the transfer of pressure. As I weave with my right hand, my right shoulder pins his back. Now what's really awesome about this position here is that from a safety perspective, if I tuck my head, I'm safe from strikes. I can't really get hit. If he tries to use his hand for elbowing, it's not really that bad. And the other thing is this, he needs to keep his hand there, right? Because if he moves it, I'm gonna flatten him out. So he actually needs to keep it there. Now, how do we actually pluck the arm? Like, what did he do? So part of the hammerlock sequence is he takes a secondary hand, clasps on. Now watch this, as I lean towards his shoulder, pop it out from under him. There's so much pressure going on that shoulder blade, it's very hard to resist. That's when he elevated the arm, followed through, entered into prone position. When he entered in that prone position, pinned that thigh against the elbow, preventing the elbow from moving, had that shin behind the back, keeping those hips nice and low, and as he grabbed on the wrist, watch the elbow pin down the shoulder. Now, this isn't conventionally taught, this is what we do over here, because when we apply the pressure, it's to prevent him from scrambling the arm around. And anytime he tries to move it, you can always apply that pressure to calm him. And so that's when he cupped his partner, and he needed now the 2 other officers to come in. Now, he mentioned to me that he wanted to flag him and say, don't worry about it, I can take care of it, because he could have. But, you know, they both came in, and guess what? They had to strike, they had to hit, they had to yell, just to get this one arm behind the back, when he himself used just technique and leverage to actually isolate. Again, we tackled him down, trying to pin him, he starts building up his base. As I weave through, pull that wrist underneath him, break his balance. Now, change direction. Double up on that wrist, hammerlock, he cranked, boom, crank the arm up, drive. Settle into prone position, that's when he took out his cuff, cuffed the first wrist, and then he had to wait standby while the 2 other officers took care of the other arm. That was something that we were so badly waiting for, a situation where it was actually used live and only needed one individual. It didn't need multiple people, didn't need to use of force, didn't have to yell. It was a silent exchange. Took him down, isolated the wrist, took it to the back, cuffed the hand all by himself. The vision for us here with the J.J.L.E program is that Jiu-Jitsu on its own is fantastic for officers. It really is good. However, what about cuffing strategy? What about dealing with when they got their boots on, thick boots? There's a lot of Jiu-Jitsu moves that require tucking your feet in certain places, but you can't have that happen in a live situation. What if it gets stuck? What if you gotta back out of it? Cuffing situation, duty belt retention, fight, spitting. It's a totally different world. So it's not that they don't need jiu-jitsu, it's that they need specific jiu-jitsu, more geared towards what they actually will use it for. And that's what we have here with this 7-level program. subscribe to our channel, like, and share this content. If you want to know more information about the J.J.L.E program, just head over to our website. I'll leave the link in the description. You can check everything out in detail as to what we do, what we're trying to do to make our community much safer.